Present.
Mr. Campbell,
Present.
you, Miss Martinez,
Present.
Miss Armienta,
Present.
Miss Augustine, absent. Okay, Miss Hawkins, see her.
She gave a thumbs up, so she's either driving or at her second job.
Got it. Xavier, absent. Caesar, absent. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 members present with both of our alternates as voting members today. So we do have quorum.
Awesome. Okay, Mr. Malta, we can go ahead and take action if necessary tonight. All right. We do have the land and labor acknowledgement. Want to put that up on the screen? Someone want to volunteer to read that? Oh, and please make sure everyone here that you select the language. You need to select either English or Spanish. We do have LAUSD translation unit on the line, and everyone needs to select a language. Someone want to volunteer to read the land acknowledgement? All right, hearing none, I'll do it. This land on which I inhabit is physically situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Tongva people. We pay respect to the Tongva and all indigenous people, past, present, and future, and their continuing presence in the homeland and throughout this historical diaspora. The struggle for liberation, justice, and reparations is how we truly give honor. For the life labor acknowledgement, would someone like to read that?
We pay homage to those who were stolen from Africa, placed in bondage, falsely named as chattel, and forced into labor. We were called slaves, but never submitted to such, and have always been fully human, with an unbroken connection to the divine and to each other. We will honor our African ancestors for the still unpaid labor which built what is now the Americas. To both our indigenous and African forebears, we commit to the continued struggle for liberation and reparations, for it is through this and through freedom and justice that we truly give honor.
Thank you. All right, if you haven't already signed in, please do so. There should be a link in the chat. If someone can please paste the link in there again, because I hear some folks that just came in, so they may not have had a chance to sign in. Go back to the agenda. All right. Oh, we're supposed to do the land and knowledge before roll call. Oh, well, we did that anyways. Now is the time for us to approve the minutes. The minutes are on the website, Hawkins, hs.lausd. Hopefully you've all had a chance to read them. We paste them there the night that we actually have the meeting. Our last official meeting was January the 7th. Was it the 7th? January the 7th. There we go. Can someone please make a motion? Let me go back to that page right here. We need someone to make a motion so that we can have a discussion. And there's a language for you to make it helpful.
I, Tonya McIntyre, move to approve the minutes with any corrections, additions, or deletions.
I, Paola Armienta, second the motion.
Mr. Malta, you in a place you can read that part?
Yes.
Okay. Where it says chair?
Yes. It is moved and second that the minutes be approved with any corrections or deletions, additions. Are you ready for discussion?
All right. Does anybody have any corrections, deletions, or additions?
Nay.
All right.
You want to continue, Mr. Malta?
After no further discussion, the question is on the adoption of the motion that the minutes be approved with any corrections, deletions, or additions. Those in favor of the motion, type aye. In the chat minutes, aye. Those opposed, type no in the chat or abstain.
That's the correction I'm going to make right now. Not to the minutes, but to the slides.
Narvaez, you put it directly to me, but
All right, I see
I have 9 votes so far.
9.
Yes. We're missing 4. Sorry, 3. So missing 2, I think it's Miss Hawkins and who else?
Ms. Hawkins gave a thumbs up.
All right. She's probably driving right now. We'll count that thumbs up.
And who else? Dr. Castillo?
Yes, I think it's Castillo.
Sorry, I'm here.
We're waiting for your vote.
There it is.
All right.
All right, we have 12 ayes, 0 no's, 0 abstains, 0 did not vote. Motion passes.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right.
All right, let's go with public comments.
So the first part of our agenda, we give 3 minutes for each of our stakeholder groups. Any parent or community members that have a comment, any students or any staff. Ms. Martinez, I'm not sure why your name is there. I'm going to take it out though. Unless you have a comment.
I'm sorry. Yes, I do. I just want to make a few announcements. We have coffee with the principal on Thursday at 10. And let me bring up my calendar.
Okay.
We have food giveaway on February 22nd. That's a Saturday. We have a mental health series workshop, February 19. And we also have student-led conference on February 27.
Ooh.
That's all.
Okay, thanks. Any concerns that you want to bring up? You have about a minute left, I think.
Can you please repeat the second one? I missed it.
Student conference on February 27th. Oh, the second one. I'm sorry. Go
Second
ahead.
one.
Mental health workshop on February 19.
What was before that one?
Food giveaway, February 22nd.
There we go. Thank you. February 27th?
Second, 22. It's a Saturday.
Dr. Castillo updated that to, I believe, March. Hopefully my dogs don't bark. March 8th on the chat.
Okay, I was looking. Let's see.
That's the food giveaway?
That is
Oh, okay.
correct. Dr. Castillo just
Yes, I
said,
see that. Thank you, Dr. Castillo. I'll make the correction on my calendar.
Okay, do we have any students or staff that have any comments, concerns that they want to bring up about anything happening or not happening?
I did want to relay. Lee had mentioned he wanted me to mention that he did want to have games this Friday. First, I think he wanted to do a flag football game outdoors, but looks like it's going to be raining, so we might turn that into an indoor thing. But in light of the Super Bowl weekend.
Okay. Thank you. Will that happen at lunchtime or after school?
Lunchtime.
Okay. All right. Doesn't look like any other announcements. We'll go to the next part of the agenda. Always leave that in there in case we have any parents that want to join or need to be confirmed and to LSLC. I don't think we have anybody tonight for that. Oh, community schools. Do you have any updates?
Yeah, we need to approve the budget proposal for 25-26. So I have that ready if that's something that we could do. It's super quick because we don't have any money. So
Ooh.
a one item thing. Is it okay if I share my screen and do that?
Sure. You want to make a motion so we can have a discussion?
Yeah, I want to. Should I need to share it first, though, right?
No, you can make a motion now as you're trying to share.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the community school 11266 budget for the 25-26 school year.
I, Paola Armienta, second the motion.
Okay, now we can have discussion. So it's
Okay.
been moved, I think, yeah, it's been moved in second to approve the community schools budget. Is it 3 ones or 2 ones?
2 ones. 11266.
11266 for 2025, 2026. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
Okay, I thought I already had my budget.
There you go.
So we only have $8,000 only. Not that's like not nothing, but it's low a little bit. So I don't mean to disrespect $8,000, but $8,000 for 11266, and in continuing with the efforts to work on like safety for our school, which became the #1 priority. We're working on getting murals and stuff this year, but the other thing that we want to work on, and hopefully we could get some of it done this year, but to continue it next year, likely we'll have to continue into next year, is more signage. So particularly thinking about getting mesh banners on the fences for the basketball courts that face Hoover, and getting them to say Hawkins High School, getting them to say what our school's about, what we offer at the school, just because, again, people say that they don't know that we're a school, they don't know where Hawkins is, they don't know of Hawkins, and we just want to become more visible, more present, and then hopefully if there's more eyes on our school, then people will protect our school more, take pride in our school, etc. So as a result, rather than trying to do repo graphics or anything like that, I wanted to suggest putting that $8,000 into contracts. I already had NTS Communications come out to tell us how much getting banners on that fence would. It's like 328 feet of banners that are over 7 feet tall. So it would cost us close to $25,000 to do. So we'll likely have to do it in chunks. So like I said, if by chance we have any funds available left from this year, maybe we can use it, or it'll roll over to next year and we'll have more. So that way we could at least get started and get some of that done. So that is my proposal for what to do with the funds, but I'm open to discussion.
I have a
Sorry,
question.
how much the banners would cost again?
Approximately $25,000.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go for it.
So, if we don't get the additional, what is that, $17,000? What would $8,000 get us? A portion of a banner?
Yeah, like one banner, so we could get the one banner that maybe at least says Hawkins High School nice and big, so that way people from on Hoover can see it, because truthfully speaking, we only have the signs on 60th that are small. So the idea is like we need other, like, some schools have marquees and things on the opposite corner of their school, where they have other things that show the name of their school so that you can see it from other streets or other angles. And so this is trying to move us towards that. So I would suggest doing that kind of banner first. And then the other idea is to get banners that show that we're a game design magnet, that show that we have entrepreneurship, that show that we offer, social work and public health classes, just so that people can know more about, get a quick idea of like what is happening here on the campus, what we offer, and hopefully will make us more attractive to people and families.
And is there any particular constraints with that particular budget, 11266?
No, there's always some constraints in terms of like what you can buy, but it's pretty open.
Okay. And so this is just some money that had not been allocated for 2025, 2026? Or this
No,
is the only money that's available that you know of?
this is only the money that's available. So last year we had quite a bit, and then we were able to fund the RJ teacher position from it, and a little bit more because of me not being in the role, not all of it getting used, et cetera, et cetera. We had a good chunk because it rolls over. So similarly, if we don't end up using everything from 24, 25, it should roll over. And then there is about 12,000 that's a funding variance, but they don't really let you touch that because that's supposed to be if prices change, costs change, salaries change, etc.
Okay.
So this $8,000 and $8,019 is literally all we were allocated for the 25-26 school year.
Okay. All right. And can someone put the link to the sign in? There's a couple of people that just entered the room. All right. No further discussion? Ready for the vote? Okay. So if you're in agreement with the, we'll call it CSC, Community Schools Coordinator budget. Let's see. Community Schools Coordinator, what, 25, 26? Aye.
Can we just do 11266I?
That sounds good. All right. So if you are in agreement with the way Dr. Castillo wants to allocate those funds to bring some more attention to the school, you're going to type I 11266. If you're not in agreement, it's no 11226. No, 11266. Yeah, like that. Mm-hmm. Can you add a link to your document for the minutes, Dr. Castillo, or put them in the chat later on? We can add them.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then after we're done with this, there's one more thing I want to share.
Okay.
I'm missing one more vote.
Who is that vote? Who is that vote?
We're at a minute and a half left of 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, I think it's Miss Hawkins again.
Oh, Miss Hawkins, she's probably driving.
1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And actually, community schools have 14 minutes. I'm sorry. So you probably still have another, what, 4 minutes to go or 5 minutes?
Exactly.
All right.
We're gonna close the vote in 30 seconds.
Thank you, Dr. Castillo, for the link.
Okay, voting is now closed. We have 13 ayes, 0 noes, 0 abstains, but 1 did not vote. Motion passes.
Awesome. Okay, you said you had something else you wanted to present to us? Is it something we need to vote on?
No.
Okay.
No.
You still sharing the screen?
Yes, I'm sharing.
Awesome.
So with again with working towards trying to address the school priority of safety. We've talked about branded arts already and we're bringing the murals to campus. Another one that we're working on is to do like a safety symposium. I think I might have mentioned it. We have a little bit more details on it now. It will be April 5th because we're going to be combining it with the vision clinic that Hawkins will be offering to students, and the vision and the district folks want it to also be kind of like a resource event. So we're just going to combine it so that we don't have to try to bring a bunch of people to campus 2 months in a row. Working with the field deputy from Council District 9, Mr. Graham, Miss Martinez, and we're going to offer workshops. These are the workshop topics as of now: personal safety, block safety, traffic safety, Hawkins campus safety, city services, and tenant rights. So just want to kind of like keep that date in mind and out there, working on approval, special event approval with the district, and just reserving spaces. So teachers and everyone will start hearing more about this, and CD9 is going to help us with inviting the community to be present. And we have a long list of people that we want to try to invite to lead some of these workshops and be present for the resource fairs. So anyone who is interested in helping is welcome to, but mostly just want to kind of get this date out there, get these topics out there so that people can be curious and start spreading the word, and hopefully we can have a good turnout.
Awesome. Can I ask a favor? Can you put what day of the week this is on the flyer?
Yes, I will do that. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. That looks like that's going to be a really great event. I'll make sure I have a journalist out there covering it. student journalist, that is. All right. Next on the agenda is the budget, Mr. Malta.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for the official numbers that our fiscal specialists adjusted at our fiscal budget meeting. Um, um, so unfortunately, we were not able to budget everything that we wanted, including some positions. So we are in the process of waiting for the fiscal specialist to give me the final numbers so I can update everyone on some positions. It was a difficult decision, but we were over budget by about $367,000. So we needed to really think about how is it that we were going to reduce our budget to balance the budget. And unfortunately, um, $367,000 is a lot of money. So some of the positions that we wanted to buy for next year needed to be cut. I followed up with the individuals and that could be affected, and also follow the budget um, committee recommendations to make the appropriate cuts. So at this point, like I said, I will update the budget sheets as soon as I get them from the fiscal specialist. The window will be closing soon, so she should be able to give me those as soon as possible so I can send you the revised budget and how does it look so far. Unfortunately, what really affected us was we were budgeting with several salaries that were no longer valid. Several individuals had a raise, and so the a lot of the numbers were off. And unfortunately there were some areas that we couldn't coordinate. We when we do budgets, we combine budgets, and every budget has their own rules, restrictions, and we were unable to carry on with some of the adjustments. There's still a chance that something may happen and money comes in, and so that's a strategy regarding some of the positions. We were hoping that the district would be able to help us and sponsor us in a few positions. But when you have a several positions that you depend on from the district and they're no longer going to sponsor us with those positions, then it makes it very difficult because just as an example, we found out almost last minute that Hawkins was not going to get a newcomers counselor. We were also not going to get a MALC coach. And we were only allocated for a new position to Hawkins, which is a newcomer coach. This created a lot of issues within our budget because we do need a newcomer counselor with the population that we have, and how difficult it is to only have one PSW to address our student population. It was hard for me not to pursue having a newcomer counselor. So that was something for me to really address in our budgets. So that is part of the issues that happen during budget development. And like I said, sometimes we don't get those until almost last minute. I think that was the case also with community schools budgets, and I think we were counting on some money from community schools as well. And then it turned out that they also had budget cuts. And so that created another issue. So, in order for us to keep moving forward, I didn't want to stress our budget that much, knowing that all these changes in our government are happening, and it's going to be very difficult. So I will update you as soon as possible regarding our situation with our budget. We were able to still maintain, and I think that we're gonna be okay. However, we're probably gonna have to do without a couple of positions. And I'm not sure if our rollover is going to be complete in order for us to save some other positions. Um, but at this point, it is what it is. So I will send you an email and an update with the with the budget sheets that have been updated, so you can get the final numbers. And I'm in the process of actually talking to those individuals that will be affected by our budget cuts, and I will notify them. So now they have plenty of time to look for other positions within our district. Again, I feel very um, saddened by the fact that I did the best I could. Um, and at the end, it's just reality that we just couldn't afford everything that we wanted. So that is right now my update in terms of budgets, and look forward to the final budget sheets to be updated pretty soon, as soon as I get them from my fiscal specialist.
Mr. Malta, how many positions does that? Just the number, not the name exactly.
Yeah, it ended up being 3 positions.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is question related on a different note, but regarding ELD having common conference periods, and we're in the process of developing a committee that is going to start looking at the master schedule for next year. I also wanted to create off of that committee another additional task, and ILT is working on the defining who's going to be part of each committee and their purpose. But ideally, what I want at the end of this whole thing is, how do we see Hawkins moving forward? How do we see ourselves 3 years from now? And all those discussions, including the master schedule, the bell schedule, and anything related to Hawkins High School in a couple of years from now. I want that to be in committees, and I'm trying to look for different individuals, stakeholders that need to be part of that committee, so everybody is fully informed on if there is a chance that we need to vote on anything. So I just want to make sure that these committees do a lot of the research, do a lot of the um, talking, and make sure that is well represented by all stakeholders that need to be part of those conversations. So that includes a lot. So we do have a lot of tasks that are supposed to be happening here in locals and in subcommittees from local school leadership council, and we will address each one of them when the time comes. So calendar, curriculum, and assessments being part of what we have purview over, we will address that when the time comes.
Okay. You showing 5 minutes left there, George?
Exactly 5 and 45 seconds.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, Mr. Malta?
At this point, that's it with budget.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions that are budget related? I saw that Ms. Garcia had sent something over, but I think it was more pertaining to SSC. that had to do with budgets. Is that correct? Title I budgets, I think.
Yes, it's SSC.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to item D on the agenda. We can reset the clock there, George. For professional development, calendar, curriculum, do we have any updates on the March PD schedule?
No. We're still working on February. So we just started our first cycle, the first day of our first cycle of our PDSAR. You know, folks were supposed to give me what their focus was today, but we forgot to remind people, so I'm sorry.
We talked about our focus in ELA.
Can you share what you chose as your strategy and your focus?
We were going to focus on teaching reasoning, and our strategies were going to be around sentence stems, sentence frames, I'm sorry. And we're going to, a number of people in the room were wanting to use the say mean matter graphic organizer.
Thank you. For VAPA department, we decided to focus on academic vocabulary using vocabulary notebooks and like different types of interaction within the notebooks. I forgot what PE strategy was, but VAPA, PE, CTE, and health are all doing vocabulary. It's hard to gather all that information. There's so many different departments within my department, so I'm sorry.
No problem. So then the next group that you want to hear from, what is math? And that was ELA and ELD. I'm sorry about the sentence frames and the same matter graphic organizer. And so you just need to hear from math and science.
Social studies, history.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Social studies. Sorry, Noah. And then Lotte, right? Language other than English.
Correct.
Okay.
Lotte was with the ELD.
They were? Okay. I don't think they were in the room with us today.
Ms. Narvaez, can you share what focus you chose for your cycle and the strategy?
Yes. We did. Can everyone hear me? I'm on my phone.
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, we are focusing on student discussion, and our strategy is like kind of like we called it like think pair ink share. So instead of inking your ideas before sharing, you're inking your pair's ideas. So what your partner shared.
Cool, thank you. Is there anyone from, we're missing science? Do we have anyone who's here that represents what are we missing? Sorry, science and
Social studies,
social
history.
studies. Thank you. Campbell, are you able to speak for social studies?
I don't think he was here today. Well, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Campbell.
What did Mr. Campbell say?
He says in the chat that he wasn't in their meeting today, but we'll check in with the team.
All right, sorry, that was time for the previous group. Sorry. that particular agenda item has a couple of different areas. So calendar was next within that section. I'll show what we have on the calendar right now. Will it show? Come on now, be nice. Okay, go away. Take me to the agenda.
Oh, I think I said this already, but
Here we
just
are.
um,
Go ahead.
just to reiterate that from here until the end of the school year, we're going to be focusing on those PDSA-R cycles. So P is plan, D is do, S is study, A is act, and then R is to reflect. So it's a 5-week process. So every 5 weeks, we're going to be doing a new focus and then strategy. So this is the first cycle, for those of you who don't understand what the PDSA cycle is. And we are focusing on things. It's connected to our TLF, our teaching and learning framework, that also connects to our ETO and suggestions made during WASC.
And what is ETO?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It's a educational transformation office.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that's from the district. So they're asking us to come up with the PDSR. Is that correct? Maybe, maybe not.
The ETO you're talking about for the PDSA cycle?
Yes. Is
Uh,
this something that the Educational Transformation Office, they asked us to come up with that, or they just asked us to come up with a strategy to improve test scores or learning outcomes?
yeah, that is correct. And they actually support us as part of being one of the priority schools. ETO exists to support the schools. So that's why they provide the support in instruction, such as having professional development for ELA and development of units using the curriculum that we're going to have this Thursday and Friday. But the whole PDSA cycle, that's sort of like a district initiative for this year.
Also, too, I want to let you guys know that SPED 2 has been transformed. They have the SPED labs being revamped, the way we're going to be doing things in the SPED lab. So it's a lot of transforming going on.
Do you know how many labs you're going to have?
We're going to have the same amount of labs because, we only have the 4 RSP teachers. But the way we actually have the lab set up is going to be run a little differently. So they want the labs to be run more like the regular classroom. So we're also going to be collaborating with you all a little differently. So we're going to be going through trainings for that also.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see, calendar programs. I think I got it a little backwards, huh? All right, so thank you for sharing that. For the calendar of test dates, special bell schedules, on the next agenda item, I was told we were going to be discussing, I'm not sure of all of these, but as many of these as possible that we can take action on prior to these dates coming up. There'll be a special bell schedule that's going to go through ILT that already, I'm sorry, Ms. Jackson, you want to share this part?
Okay, so yes, today I shared with the staff, regarding their preferences for the SAT date. So Ms. Green and I had decided on doing the Tuesday, March 18th date. So that way we could be in align with the, having a testing culture with iReady, how we normally use Tuesdays as our, iReady launch. So we're gonna also do that for SAT. I'm gonna share with you my screen, the schedule that is proposed. It's not finalized, but I'm just gonna share it. Just so that you are aware of what we're gonna be talking to IoT on Thursday, just to get their point of views and their perspective on it. So this is what the staff had basically voted on, which is for us to basically have, all periods on Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday, which is basically CCR all day, and then Thursday and Friday, to have the regular bell schedule. We're gonna have it where all students will be in CCR because it'll be, easier for us to manage, students, make sure our 11th graders are not getting caught up with the other students who are not taking the test. So we're gonna say everyone go into CCR and be able to take their test, and then the other grade levels, I guess as a team, we'll be able to create an activity for the other grade levels to do that day. Since we do, well, I think it's probably too late, but I know, if we can get a field trip maybe or something like that where it could be less kids on, but I don't know, it all depends on the department, the teachers. So that's basically what we have for that. For SBAC, we're still, I did talk to IoT last week. We haven't finalized anything regarding that, but it was just like kind of up in the air on how we wanted to have it done. Which was either do it in 2 weeks or to do it in 1 week. Most of the people want to do one and done, but one of the main concerns was it run into AP exams. And a lot of the teachers want that time right before in order to prep their students and how to, support them in their tests before they take the test. So what we do know is that the first AP exam, normally it's the first week in May. So the first AP exam that Hawkins will be taking will start on that Friday. So that kind of give like a kind of sort of like a week in between if we do that 1 week. The only thing about it, if we did it on the 21st is when it's supposed to start, is that we have that holiday in the middle of the week, which is that Thursday. We're going to be off because of Armenian genocide. So it kind of mess up, what we're trying to do. So, but I am working with Ms. Green, just to make sure that it runs as smooth as possible. This considering all stakeholders, because I know, like I said, her AP exam. So I need to work with her to see what exams are we actually taking as a school, but then also, how to support her in that. For end of the year, iReady, that opens the second week in May. So ideally, we would have wanted to have the kids take it during the same time as 11th graders would have been taking it, which would have made it easy to give them something to do. But we got to go with the testing window for the district. So we just got to be in compliance. And so that would also take either a special day, a special schedule, or it will be, and the good thing about the end of the year is that we only have to test 9th and 10th. And so that's a good thing because last year was a little bit overwhelming to have kids, especially with our 11th graders having to do SBAC, then AP, then iReady. And so it was a lot to try to get them to do that. And a lot of our, basically our 11th graders were done. They did not want to do iReady. And so we didn't get to meet our goal because of that. But so they did hear our cries, the testing people cries, and say like, hey, do the 11th and 10th, and and 11th and 12th is optional, but because these are the ones that's going to be doing the other testing for AP, we already know that they're not going to want to take it during the last week of May. So as a school, we decided to go ahead and exempt them from the end of the year, but we will be seeking for 9th and 10th graders to get their data. Yeah. So that is it. I don't have any information on senior defense or spring finals week, but I will be meeting with I'm gonna see if I can meet with Miss Castillo tomorrow, and then that way before I go meet with IoT, I'll have a little bit of collaboration with her in order to make the decisions on what would be best for our school, at least to give them some options for SBAC, because they are asking for a testing calendar, and I want to give them that calendar sometime this week. So that's it. But I will, by the time we come to our next LSLC meeting, I should have schedules and for at least for the next three, at least my action items will be to get those schedules done as soon as possible so that we already have them done, and that way I can communicate what that week will look like for the red painting of the staff also. That's it.
Castillo had her hand up, but I think her question is in the chat. Or did you have other things you wanted to address, Dr. Castillo?
It was gonna be for Miss Jackson, but she said she's gonna check in with me. So that's cool. I don't need to do that here. But then I was just wondering for us, more as LSLC, aren't we supposed to vote on the SAT schedule? So I just was wondering if we want to get that done.
Yeah, well, we don't necessarily, well, we haven't ran it by IoT yet. I ran it by the general staff, and so I haven't ran it with IoT. And so my thing was I was gonna run it by IoT. I guess get their approval and then bring it back to the March day, which is right before the SAT, so. I don't
Now,
know.
just so you know, we do have some meetings that we had set up because we thought the budget was going to be happening in February. So we have 3 meeting dates in February prior to that March 11th meeting. So if you want us to have a meeting, just to vote on that before those, we do have 3 dates on the calendar in February that we have on there, use if needed.
But do we think that ILT is going to go against what the teachers said that they wanted today?
So normally
they're
it should have
not.
gone to ILT before it goes to the staff, and that didn't happen. So I mean, whatever the staff voted on today is what it's going to be.
Yeah, it was just feedback today. So protocol is IoT is the subcommittee for LSLC. So LSLC should be checking with stakeholders. So it's going in the right direction, Dr. Castillo.
Yeah, no, I'm just maybe suggesting still to just get it done so that hopefully maybe we don't need those extra meetings, don't have to call any extra meetings. But yeah.
It still hasn't gone through IoT. We're not going to skip a
So,
step.
like I said, normally it would go to ILT before it goes to staff. So at this point, like it's already gone out to staff, and like Castillo said, like we're not going to go against what the staff wants. That's kind of backwards. So, if whatever the staff voted on today is what's going to happen.
Okay, so you're speaking for all of IoT. We don't need to go to IoT?
I mean, I personally, like, we can go to ILT if you really want to, but like, I feel like the rest of us in ILT would feel kind of weird going against what was already voted by the entire staff. Does that make sense? Because if we in ILT represent the rest of the staff, why would we go up against them?
Yeah, and then everybody from IoT was in there and they did have the opportunity to vote on it. So y'all saying I want to vote today on it? That's cool too.
I think we should.
We'll make a motion.
Okay. I motion that we approve the SAT schedule for the week of or the week schedule that includes SAT for March 17th through March 21st.
Okay, for us to vote, we need a second. If there's no second, then we don't vote.
I, Paola Armienta, make the second motion.
You second the motion?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been moved and second that we vote on the SAT schedule for March 17th to the 21st. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just add with what Mixdal said, as being part of the ILT, that's probably the right decision to move forward and just approve it, and that will give us plenty of time now to focus on what we're gonna do during that day, since the 11th graders are the ones that are doing SAT. So that's just my comment.
Yeah, I just want to say, ideally though, it should have gone to ILT before staff.
That is correct. Any other discussion? All right, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, let's vote. Type on the chat SAT schedule I, no, or abstain.
Counting 11 votes right now, I think.
And that's how many we have now?
11,
I know
12,
Ms. had to.
1.
And thank you for putting this together, Ms. Jackson, and finding the information. And I just want to make sure that we always remember to just follow the protocol. We don't want to.
We have 13 ayes, 0 noes, 0 abstains, and 0 no votes. Motion passes.
Yeah, and I understand the protocol. It's just that this was brought on to me today, and so I was voluntold to do it. So, so that's why I'm just trying to get stuff done. And so I will make sure that for SBAC and the EOY, like I said, will be discussed this week. So that way when we come back on in March 11th, that I'll have all my stuff, and I already went to IoT, and then I'm gonna bring it to the staff, and then we'll be ready to get a vote from LSLC on March 11th.
Awesome sauce.
And that'll be for SBAC and end of the year. And then I'm gonna try, but it's not my test, but I'll try to have AP testing also. If anything needs to be done there, have that also ready in March also.
Awesome. And then we have those other 3 dates in there if you need them. Because they're going to be, they're only as needed. Our official date is March 11th, but we do have them on the calendar just in case. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. I think we blew out the clock, huh? We still have a little bit of time. Are we done with calendars? Are we done with section D?
Ren in the chat says students would probably prefer not to take iReady again, but it is a reclassification requirement. So if any 11th or 12th grader passes the LPAC but still needs the basic skills, it could be good for them to do the EOI, which is a very great point.
Yes, and so what I normally do is collaborate with Ms. Garcia, and she normally lets me know what seniors is who needs it or what 11th graders will need it. So that's when, and I'll make sure that their test is released in English, because they wouldn't have to do the math portion. So I will collaborate with Ms. Garcia, and she normally gives me a list of students like she did last year, and gave me the students that she needed to wanted to reclassify. And so I'll continue to do that where she lets me know, and then that way I can release those students to test. And they'll be the only seniors that'll be open to test.
11th grade too, right?
Yes, 11 and 12. Yeah, but other than that, the ones that it's going to be mandatory for is for 9th and 10th.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, next on the agenda, restorative practices. LAUSD policy, schools as sanctuary. What is our school doing? Is this for you, George, or
I
Dr.
think Dr.
Castillo?
Castillo, and then I think Mr. Malta also said that we have those red tags as well, right?
Yeah, that is correct. The information that we have regarding, uh, our school as a sanctuary is making sure that everyone understands the how we are actually protecting our students and staff against any ICE officers that come into the school site. And we're in the process of making sure that everybody understands the policies that LAUSD has in place already regarding privacy for our students. And we do not release any information about our student status. We do not keep and maintain any of those records. Today, our clerical staff was getting a refresher on enrollment, and also comes with how do we handle any officers that come in onto campus. It really doesn't matter who they are. We are not going to provide any type of information. And so all the bulletins, memorandums, and everything that relates to We Are One LAUSD campaign will be reviewed. And then the other parties that need to be involved. We're going through all this information and what to do in any case. I just received information regarding our crisis team and the need for our crisis team to also get additional training. The district is providing that training, so I'm gonna look into that because we as the crisis team will be active as soon as we see that there is some type of ICE activity on the outside. So just to double check on everything, I'm gonna go around and check on several places to make sure that we are actually following the policy. I just want to make sure that all of our students and families feel safe at school. And just like I stated at the faculty meeting, making sure that everybody's aware that Hawkins is considered a sanctuary, and we will follow every LAUSD policy to make sure that everyone feels safe on campus. And we'll do our best to make sure that off campus is the same. The red cars and the UTLA information that was provided to the students and families, it relates the rights and what to do in case they encounter ICE. And that is the best tool that we can provide to anyone, that education on what is their rights and what to say, what to do. Just like any drill, fire drill, earthquake drill, it's a matter of practicing, and so we don't panic when things happen. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to train everyone so we don't panic. And but in case it triggers any individual on campus, I want to make sure that our crisis team is active and ready to go to support anyone that gets triggered by these events. So that is regarding the LAUSD policy.
And then just to jump on a little bit of the RJ, I believe RJ, the teachers has a new CCR. I think that started today with a peer mediation group of students that will be just about hopefully spread out once they're fully trained and ready to go to other classrooms and help that out too.
Also, regarding RJ, I did sign up our RJ teacher, Mr. Martinez, and our four advocates, climate advocates, to be part of this training using Ed. And so we are doing Rethink Ed, Cell Restorative Activity Plan. And I'm not sure, George, if you did get that email invite to the training. But basically, Rethink Ed is part of the virtual the way that the way that the LAUSD wants to roll out AI in our district is through Rethink Ed. Ed is our AI in the district, and they're trying to incorporate that. And part of it is this cell social emotional learning restorative activity. And so I signed up Mr. Martinez and 4 climate advocates to get that training. So hopefully that will give us a lot more support and training the staff.
I think that's it, unless Dr. Castillo has anything else.
The only thing I was gonna add is that last week we had the first meeting of the Student Advisory Council, and we reviewed the LUSD school policies. There were a few more added that I think we haven't necessarily gone over in here. I don't know if we have time to do that now, but really thoughtful discussion and questions. But a positive note is that there were no concerns about like the rules or the policies themselves, more just some concerns about how we respond to them, which a lot of it was things that we know of, like making sure everyone implements it fairly and doesn't show favoritism to certain students, and also to do things privately rather than publicly. That would be the summary of their responses.
Awesome. All right, ready for moving to announcements? Or do we have anything else we need to talk about, Mr. Malta? Under restorative practices?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right, so the school calendar under Hawkins, hs.lausd.org. The Hawkins PR team's been doing a really good job of making sure that folks are completing those papers so that they can get signed off and end up on the school calendar. Report cards come out on February 14th. So Thursday is when teachers can first put in grades to MICES. Ms. Martinez already told us about the student conference on Thursday, the 27th. Oh, Dr. Castillo, is this the right date for cheer? They're going to nationals?
Yeah, that's what Coach Michael had shared with me today.
Awesome. And did the dance team won a trophy also?
Yes, they got second place at their competition, their very first competition.
Okay. Is it the dance club or what are they called? Do you remember?
The Hawkettes, so it's like a majorette style dance.
Okay. You said majorette?
Yeah, it's like what you see at mainly the HBCUs and stuff, that
Okay.
dance.
And they won second place?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Oh, quick note, we the field trip to the Battle of the Bands was actually really, really good, really nice.
Nice. And that was at SoFi, right?
Correct.
And that was also where they had the Black College Expo too.
Correct.
And that was Saturday. It was this Saturday, wasn't it? February 1?
Yes.
Oh, and we had our first ever entry into the U.S. Academic Decathlon. Hawkins had a team. It was very exciting to see. You want to talk about that, Mr. Malta, a little bit?
Yeah, it was really nice. Our board member, Miss Handy Newbill, was there, and I had a chance to talk to her. She's very excited to have representation. And she did actually tell me that there were a couple of students that um, are willing to participate in her in her team as board advisors. She was gonna go back and double check, but she liked the fact that Hawkins did send some representation. She really wants to make sure that she hears from all stakeholders. She did promise to come by the school and be very, very involved here at Hawkins. So a lot of good things happened on that day. The students were actually very excited. They were not that nervous because I think that they've been doing their best to get ready for the event. And I think I checked in with them and they were very excited, and they were having fun with it. So they're looking forward to see, I think pretty much today or tomorrow, they should be releasing the actual scores. They want to see where they placed.
Awesome. Anybody have any other announcements? Oh, George, you said the games will be this Friday?
Yes, I believe Mr. Outlaw's hosting. We originally wanted to do outdoor flag football game in light of Super Bowl. We might have to do that or do something indoors based off the rain. So we'll see when it comes.
Right. Anything else?
I have one. The Jaime Escalante parent meeting is happening on Thursday, 4:30 at the Parent Center. So if students want to participate in the math program this summer, with the East Los Angeles Community College, their parents can go to that meeting and get more information, or students can just go by themselves too.
All right. So it's Thursday, 4:30 in the Parent Center?
Yes, correct.
And then where is it going to be this summer?
We're gonna do it at Hawkins. So we hosted it at Hawkins the past 2 years,
Okay.
and we're going into our third year now.
How many students can be part of that
We
program this summer?
need at least 35 applicants for each course. So there's a geometry course, there's an algebra 2 course. So far I have like 9 total, so I'm trying to do more outreach.
Okay. Ms. Armiento, you have your hand up?
In regards to the Escalante, how were students chosen?
Oh, so it's for anyone. If you apply, you're accepted. We'll buy the book for you, and there's free lunch. And Educare works with us and provides tutors, and they'll sometimes bring like pizza and wings too, as prizes. So and everyone who applies will be accepted.
Got it. So the email was just a general email that the parents received?
Yes, correct. I asked teachers to send emails and phone calls and texts.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
No problem.
Do you have a flyer, Miss Narvaez?
I do. It's currently also on the Hawkins website, but I can email you
Can
a
you
copy.
email it to me? So I can hand them out to students, especially because they're coming in for iReady, so I can hand them out.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Well, that was our time. And then the BSAP is taking an HBCU field trip to Atlanta. And I believe they leave tomorrow, is what I was told. Does
Yeah.
anybody know how long they'll be gone? How long is the trip?
Wednesday through Friday, so it's just 3 days.
Wednesday through Friday. You know how many students are going?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So that's February the 5th through the 7th. But they come back on Sunday?
No, they come back on Friday.
Oh, they do? Oh, really? Okay.
It's just literally a turnaround.
Wow. So they'll spend all Thursday out there.
Yeah.
Oh, did you make an announcement about the co-location, Mr. Malta? I'm not sure if everybody knows.
No, I didn't make that announcement. We went through a review on Prop 39, and Region South um, put us on the list based on the number of classrooms that we have available and on the rules um, that they had to put us on the list. Basically, the next step is going to be that the charter school that is looking for a location will probably be scouting each location that the district has put out there to see if it works with them. So we're hoping that this charter, which is Stella High School, um, does not choose Hawkins.
Miss Armienta, your hand?
How can we avoid this from happening if they don't choose us?
We've been trying to strategize and trying to figure out how is it that we are going to be able to utilize all the rooms that we have um, at Hawkins. A lot of the unknowns are that Hawkins lacks, storage space and a lot of other rooms have been used for offices because we do not have enough office space for all the staff members that we have here. The argument is that according to the law, Proposition 39, that's not an excuse. So if the instructional classrooms are available, then I guess that becomes our problem. So those are, but there are several ways that UTLA community schools have, gave us some strategies on how we said that we can maybe protect our rooms a little better. So Dr. Castillo and I and Ms. Moore, we have already discussed some of those. So we were ready to start working on that, and we thought that we were off the list, but then they came back again and they had to do a walkthrough, physical walkthrough, and that's how we were deemed to have enough room um, for that charter to take a look at. But definitely, I think that conversation is going to start to happen no matter what. Um, Probably here and in different areas and how is it that we can restructure Hawkins High School to to better protect us. This I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to start planning. Just like I mentioned before, my vision is to start looking at Hawkins a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. So that conversation is gonna happen no matter what, and we'll take this as an opportunity. And hopefully, they do not choose us, and they will not choose us. The district will not put us on the list. I do have the ear from Miss Newbell. I happen to know her personally. So she is aware. She's aware and she's gonna support us as much as she can.
Yeah, because Prop 39 is the law that was passed, but it's based on, you know, us actually having enough space, and I don't think we have as much space as they think we do.
That is correct. So that is something that we definitely need to put on this scouts for Stella.
And also, the board passed a resolution in March of 2024 saying that BSAP schools, priority schools, magnet schools, communities, I don't know about magnet, but definitely community, BSAP, and priority schools should not be even considered for co-location. So we're we have that policy and we'll be taking a look at it and making sure the others are reminded of it as well. Okay, it is almost 7 o'clock. Is there anything else that we need to have on the agenda for March the 11th? It says we have 5 minutes, but we can take less than that. Our standard agenda? Or is there anything else in addition? Oh, Mr. Wren, did you have anything you wanted to add about the club that you started? Or, I mean, not now, because we're almost ending the meeting, but do you want to share something the next meeting?
I'm hoping to have a meeting in my class next week. It's been kind of difficult getting the word out about the club, so I'm gonna try to promote it more.
Okay.
But I did have a question regarding, and I don't know if this is like the right place to ask, but regarding the salary raises for teachers that went into effect this month. Is that, would we be able to see that like labeled as salary spread? Because for me it does show like the same amount as the previous month.
That is an HR question. And the raise went into effect in January, and it shows up on your February check. But I can tell you who offline who to talk to in HR, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anything else? You ready to close it, Mr. Malta?
Yes.
All right. Meeting adjourned at 6:58 p.m.
Thank you so much.
All right. See everybody later.
All right, have a good night.
See y'all later. See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'm trying to stop sharing right now.